Okay, so this is the second part review of the second person consultation. So to start the consultation, I just gained a few personal details from her name to just gauging an idea of her past and present hobbies. I also got her height and weight just because this is useful information for us. And so yeah, this will be put into the data. Then I went on to ask her whether she thought about 3 possible goals that she'd want to achieve from this consultation. The first one was to stop drinking so much. The second was to reduce the amount of smoking that she does and to have a better diet and become more healthy in terms of that. So that's something that is really important to know at the beginning of the consultation for this, because then we can sort of see what else she says. And then I also just wanted to gauge an idea of like how motivated she would be to change these, because that's really important. You need motivation to have possible good changes, and gauge an idea of when she wants this done by, and that was within like 4 months, because these are sort of things that don't happen, these sort of changes don't happen overnight. So the next thing that I went on to ask was just about her current physical activity, and so I was asking questions such as just about like what sort of exercise she does, whether she prefers cycling or driving, and from this I gauged that she's a very active person. She does 60 minutes of a gym session a week, and 2 hours of gymnastics sessions, and she does this 3 times a week, and she will do 10 minutes or cycles 3 times a week, dance workouts every day from home because it's obviously lockdown, and then some flexibility and strength and conditioning for gymnastics 3 times a week, which is brilliant. So we can clearly gauge from this that she's quite a fit person and enjoys physical activity. So then I went on to nutrition, and from this I kind of gauged that she wasn't very healthy in terms of diet. She said that she was around a 3 out of 10 for having a healthy diet, meaning that she really doesn't think of herself as being very healthy. She eats quite a lot of calories on the weekends and takeaways 3 times a week. She will eat unhealthy breakfasts when she does. However, she always skips breakfast, which is not good as it is one of the most important meals of the days. And she doesn't eat many vegetables, and she only eats specific fruit. So yeah, this is something which struck out to me as possibly being able to change, and diet can be easy to set as something to change. Furthermore, I went on to ask her about her lifestyle. So she does smoke, and she smokes around 12 cigarettes per day, which is obviously very unhealthy. She does get a lot of stress. She's on a scale 8 out of 10 for stress, and these are because of sort of personal reasons in college. She also stated that she does drink quite a lot, and is aware that it is very bad, which is good. I thought that was quite positive that she's aware that this is an unhealthy amount, because that's always a good way of a good starting point for someone to change if they're aware that it's bad. She has a good sleeping pattern, which is good, something that doesn't really need working on. She'll get a good 9-10 hours sleep per night. But yeah, the smoking and drinking are the main problems here, and yeah. I also further went on to ask about her physical health, in which she has not really got any problems. She doesn't have any injuries, and these don't affect her everyday life. And she walks typically around 5,000 steps per day, before she used to do 10,000, showing again that she is quite fit. And I gauged a few medical history questions. She doesn't have any sort of illnesses such as asthma, and she is quite a healthy person. I also went through this informed consent letter with her that basically states that what this questionnaire does, it's just been developed for an understanding of the general health and lifestyle, and it will be used to develop a measurement of goals that she wishes to achieve throughout this time. I also stated that it could possibly involve physical activity, which is a risk of injury. However, we have gauged that physical activity is not something which possibly needs improving. However, it's important to state that. I also told her that through this process, she will receive a full anonymous collection of data, and the information that she gives will not be shared with anyone without her consent. And I did say that if there's any issues with the goals that we set and just doing them, that she should inform us straight away. So yeah. After just running down the fact that we'll now do some health screening tests, I got Demi to measure her heart rate per minute by just placing her fingers on her neck for a minute and just counting how many beats occur in that, and she got a beats per minute of 57. And when we compare this to the normative data table, we can see that she has an athletic resting heart rate standard, which is really amazing, and it shows that she's very healthy and her physical activity is clearly really good for her body and her heart. Then I went on to getting data for her body mass index. So she measured her height, which came to 165 centimeters, and she got a weight of 61.7. And then I calculated that this would come to a body mass index of 22.6. This gives normal body mass weight classification results. So there's no concern here. It's a really good score. She's right in the middle of this classification, so she's not underweight or near overweight, so that's really good, and there's not a concern there. However, when we went to waist to hip ratio after getting her waist results, which was 73 centimeters, and her hip size, which was 83 centimeters, her waist to hip ratio came to 0.88. And when we look at this normative data table, we can see that this shows that for females she is in the at-risk section, which isn't very positive. And however, we know that perhaps it's the diet which could change, and this could sort of change these results to make her more healthy. So now I kind of put into a table the results from the health screening tests and just her strengths and weaknesses. So for the resting heart rate, I put this as a definite strength. She has an athletic resting heart rate, which gives us no concerns. It shows that her heart is really healthy, and this is really important. So I wouldn't say there's any room for improvement here. So yeah, just maintaining this would be good. She has a normal body mass index, which is great. She isn't underweight or over it, as I said. She's quite nicely in the middle of that category. And if we maintain this, there won't be any further concerns at all. So that's great. And for her waist to hip ratio, so the areas of improvement, well, this just generally needs to improve. We could do this by including some diets, because we know it might not be physical activity which could help this, because she is very active. It is quite worrying, the results that she got, because she is at risk, and it could be potentially develop conditions that relate to being overweight, including heart disease and type 2 diabetes. So yeah, and then I went through and I did the same for just the evaluation of the health screening questionnaire. So for the goals, I think it was really good that she was aware that she smokes too many cigarettes a day, and that she's aware as well that she drinks too much alcohol alcohol for it to be normal and okay. So that's really good. And like I said, it's so important that people are aware of what their sort of weaknesses are, in terms of a higher possibility of them to be able to change. And areas for improvement generally are for her to progressively be able to stop smoking if possible, or just reduce the amount of cigarettes in a day to become a more safe level. I said an improvement would be stop drinking in the week, because it's not very necessary. She's not out with her friends. If she feels a need to, then we're just going to try and slowly cut this out. And another area of improvement is to make larger, more filling and nutritious meals at meal times, to cut down on snacking so she doesn't get hungry later on and has to snack at night. Well, the general strengths of her physical activity are really good. She does a 10-minute cycle 3 times a week, dance workouts every day, some flexibility and strength conditioning for her, gymnastics 3 times a week. It shows that she is very active, and this is just really good for her body, so that is great. The nutrition, I said that for improvements, we really do need to make sort of bigger size meals in order to reduce her getting hungry and snacking, especially at night time before we go to sleep, before she goes to sleep, because metabolism is slower then. So it would be good to find unhealthy food alternatives, just such as improving fruit and veg and eating 5 a day, which would just be great. Her for this lifestyle section, I've accidentally switched them around, but for her strengths it's meant to say she drinks a good amount of water in the day, around 7 glasses, which is great, and she gets a good amount of sleep per night, around 9-10 hours, which is really good for the body. However, areas of improvement is just improving the amount of cigarettes that she smokes per day, and just reducing that, and reducing the fact that she drinks 15 units of alcohol a week. And for her physical health, there's no physical health problems. However, of course, the waist to hip ratio would be really good to improve. Okay, so now for the first goal, which was just reducing the amount of smoking that she does. She's aware that this is so unhealthy. I said start by setting larger intervals between cigarettes per day. So change it from how long originally you're setting per cigarette, to setting an hour space between each, and this will just reduce, like, if you know that you can only have it in an hour, then that's not an incredibly long time, but it will just reduce the want and the need for you to, or just the natural reflex to smoke more within that hour. So I think that'd be a really good improvement. I said for the first week, just remove all the cigarettes from the packet until each day, until there's only 11 in there per day. And then after 2 weeks, reduce the number in the pack per day to be after 2 weeks of having one less than 12, so 11 after every 2 weeks. So for the next time after that, we'll remove another 2 cigarettes. So now we'll start to be smoking just 9 a day. We'll just start slowly cutting down from the 12. Now, once we've gotten to half of the original amount that you were smoking, so that would be 6 a day, it's important that we could introduce nicotine gum and limit yourself to 5 cigarettes a day when you are using this technique. And after the first 2 weeks, we can change the 1 hour interval between each to a 2 hour interval. So this will just slowly ease off the amount that you're smoking. And in terms of the nicotine gum, just chew it for 15 to 30 minutes until the taste goes, and don't smoke within 2 hours before or after taking it. And you can consider this as 1 cigarette of your 5 of the day. So now for recommendations and strategies for improvement for for the diet. So I set a goal of to make breakfast the day before for the next day. This ensures that breakfast is eaten. It's one of the most important parts of the day. I would suggest just preparing a smoothie bowl. This can be really easy. Just whisk up a few smoothie ingredients such as just bananas, strawberries, the fruit that you like, or just mix up some granola like with raisins the day before. Just